Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. If you haven't heard, now you do. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 3. It's been a talk of much anticipation, possibly going at the end of the year. But first, let me salute my supporters in the live chat, man, who stay down 10 toes with World Combat Sports on this media. And I appreciate your interaction, stopping through, talking this boxing, MMA, whatever the general topic is. You much appreciated. An army of one is better than an army of none. Believe that. So Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 3, we looking forward to it. The reason being is that the rematch was in motherfucking controversy. There's payback. There's retribution. There should be in vendetta. How you doing, Denise Ward, in the building? Boxing Queen, how you feel this evening? There should be every type of compensation taken out on the individual that's filled with malice, you know what I'm saying, ill intent, everything you want to talk about. Because when it comes down to it, Tyson Fury, man, everything that's out there, the evidence says you cheated again. You just didn't cheat once. You cheated again. Not only this time, that Fury, but you want to try to end the boxer's life. You know, a man that started boxing for his family, his daughter had spina bifida, and you want to go up here and basically inflict pain by cutting corners. You know, the shit that got Panama Lewis banned from the sport of boxing. The shit that Antonio Margarita changed Miguel Cotto's life. And you know what? We really don't even know how Miguel Cotto is going to be in the next 5 or 10 years when those residual effects that Margarita was able to inflict upon him during that match. And we all know it was loaded gloves back then. Don't nobody give a damn he got caught just with Shane Mosley. He just didn't start that. You know, Margarito's trainer, they pretty much knew what they was doing. The guy who was wrapping hands, they pretty much knew it was popping. But for Tyson Fury, it's too many people out here that's vouching for what you are capable of. And when it comes into the sport of boxing, man, you need to pay that. You know what I'm saying? You need to get that payback real quick. We need that. And we definitely going to get it, Tyson Fury. You're 30-0 right now, but it's going to be 30-1. Just wait till the fight pops off. We're going to get that payback. But I just want to tell you that you will always be a cheat. Tyson Fury will always be a cheat, y'all. To everyone that was able to witness the rematch with Tyson Fury, you totally understand that man ain't never been a knockout artist, y'all. Tyson Fury has never been a knockout artist at no point in his career. For him to come in here in Vegas, you know, he couldn't even touch Deontay Wilder, really. He was the one on the canvas twice in the first one. But he comes over here to MGM Grand, and all of a sudden he's put on this spectacular performances. But yet, y'all don't want to acknowledge that his people covered the camera up. The gloves that he wore in the fight is partners with the WBC. Y'all don't want to acknowledge everything about that fight was pretentious and Deontay Wilder was set up to fail. Y'all don't want to acknowledge it. I don't care. But the facts are out there. They're all across the board, man, from left to right, front to back. The shit is all across the board that Tyson Fury did not compete fairly. He didn't. You have people that's actually sparred with Tyson Fury. And when sparring comes into play, people have codes when it comes to sparring, especially if you're a fighter in the game and you want to maintain that good rapport, that honesty, that integrity. you don't really speak what happened in sparring. You don't go out there and tell the world that so-and-so got knocked out or this happened in sparring. You kind of keep it hush hush, right? But more and more people that have been associated any way, shape, or form with Tyson Fury, it letting it be known, man, that he's a cheat. He basically manipulated his gloves. It's not the first time. You just don't have the same people saying this. You have multiple people validating the source that Tyson Fury has indeed manipulated his gloves before. What's going on, H Money, Mr. The Zone in the building? Salute, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. JC in the house. Say what's up. Salute. Coco the Don in the building. What's good, Coco? Appreciate y'all stopping through. Hey, it's like this, man. We have to support Deontay Wilder's return. Now that y'all seeing him take the L, now that a lot of you all that felt some type of way about him when he was champion, 42 victories, 41 knockouts, 0 defeats at the time. Now that you're seeing him at the bottom, and you may not have favored his style, now you have to understand and acknowledge the fact that he was in there with the guy who wasn't playing fair. There's no way to circumvent this shit. It's factual. The knowledge is out there. It's too much that was going on during that fight that just didn't add up. The Tyson Fury being able to dominate Deontay Wilder like he did, vice the first outing that they had. If you believe that Sugar Hill was the reason he came in there looking, you haven't been following boxing too much. If you believe Sugar Hill Stewart can come in there and basically implement a game plan for Tyson Fury to the point where the man was bleeding out his ear with a fat lip, just knots on his head, and that is all because of training, him changing trainers from Ben Davison to Sugar Hill, you need to watch some more boxing. That shit don't happen like that. And listen, I'm sending out the APB. I'm sending out the Bolo to Team Deontay Wilder. We support you and have always will. Hey, the real ones support you and always will. We support you. We want you to come back marching. We want to hear your footsteps once you return and the fights get closer. We want you to be in sound mind and body when you go back to war. That's what it's all about. When you go back to the front lines, it is personal. It is motherfucking personal. Because the person, the winner of this fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder would face Dillian Whyte. And those of you that know, I'm hoping Deontay Wilder faces Dillian Whyte on top of slaughtering freaking the cheat himself, Tyson Fury. Coco say Fury was a freaking cheat for sure. MMA champ in the building. Salute JC. Everybody, H Money, Coco. What is it though? The armor, heel, glove, gate. I don't know. The robbery was discussing. Hey, this is the deal that happened. I'm pretty sure everyone who tunes in is familiar with it. Is that the gloves themselves were basically tampered with, and you're probably saying to yourself, so how do you know that? It's too much video that's out there to validate that the way Tyson Fury was fighting, even him being fought in the Christian Hammer fight, the thumb, per the rules, supposed to be attached to the glove to prevent eye pokes and everything else. In that particular fight, Tyson Fury was caught with gloves that had been tampered with in that particular fight because his thumb loop was gone. So he didn't have any type of connection. His thumb was able to move around in the glove as Tyson Fury deemed it necessary during the fight. But due to the referee paying attention to detail, he was able to catch that. Now, for this fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, he cheated, man. He manipulated the gloves. And Mauricio Suleiman want to say that he was back there doing the hand wrapping. The video doesn't depict him being back there. None of the videos. And I haven't really put the video out there yet, but I have a compilation of videos from back there, and I'm going to wait till the right time to put that out because the fight is so far out. I don't want people to forget about it. It's a lot of fights that's in between now and then. But anyway, Tyson Fury's corner covered the camera. Who does that shit? When have you ever seen a corner cover the camera and people just look at it like, well, I think they want to have a prayer and shit? No, you don't cover the camera when you have a steady stream, when you have a bilateral stream, one in freaking Deontay Wilder's dressing room and one in Tyson Fury's dressing room. You don't cover the camera. And then they show one small clip of JD's sitting back there with a grin, and then they hurry up and cut to Tyson, and he said, I'm getting my hands wrapped, and then they cut away. You know what that shit remind me of? It reminds me of Mike Tyson clips right now. All his clips are sped up. They're very short. The keyframes are sped up. They're very short, meshed together, spliced, and it's just to give you bits and pieces of snapshots of what Mike Tyson is doing to make him look better than what he's actually in to sell the fight. The one thing we have to understand is people, as people that totally understand what we're witnessing right here, we need to get behind Deontay Wilder. We need to support him more than we ever did when he was champion, for those of you that didn't. We need to understand that you can't sit up here and condone and cheat like Tyson Fury and then say, well, too many people are saying Tyson Fury cheated. I don't believe it. I absolutely don't agree with that, because that's basically saying you don't have the competence to think for yourself when it comes to a point like this. He cheated. Nowhere in his career, all of a sudden, he's going to come up here and face one of the hardest hitter in boxing. And you get the stoppage via the towel being thrown in. But the damage that was received from Deontay Wilder from Tyson Fury, it just doesn't happen from somebody that's never even been a part of any type of brutality like that. Otto Wallen was back to what I was saying, because every time I get on this subject about Tyson Fury cheat, man, my connection drops out. Like I was saying, I saw a comment on there, and I'm all about, knowledge. Okay, I saw a question on here. I mean, not a question, a comment. Team Wilder approved the wraps and the gloves. Listen, the wraps wasn't the problem. Who cares about the wraps unless they're loaded? All right, the wraps wasn't a problem. The wraps are the wraps. You know what I'm saying? No more than 20 yards on the wraps. The wraps aren't a problem. It cannot be more than 2 inches wide. That is one of the rules for the wraps, right? The wraps wasn't the issue. Now the gloves, it's plenty of ways they can get around the gloves being approved. Plenty of ways. When we seen the gloves come in, they was wrapped up in a freaking FedEx package or whatever it was, express package. They could have switched the gloves out. They could have did anything. Look, it could have been the gloves that was approved, and then they had somebody in the dressing room distract JD's while everything was going on. You have to understand how many fights JD's has been a part of where he was in the dressing room as a witness and he was looking, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it could have been so many things that was going on that could have distracted him. I'm not making excuses, but it could have happened. You all have to understand one of the weakest parts of boxing where people seem to jettison the fact that there will always be discrepancies. There will always be integrity issues. There will always be integrity issues when it comes to the boxing commission. Remember what I say. There will always be integrity issues when it comes to the boxing commission. I hear a lot of fans, I don't want to call them casuals, but when you all say, well, the commission was there, the commission was looking, listen, the commission can be there and hear no evil, see no evil, just like everybody else. They can be right there in the proximity and they can see what's going on right in front of them and do nothing. The commission was there when Antonio Margarita had the plaster of Paris going on with his gloves. The commission was right there. The commission didn't catch Antonio Margarito. Nassim Richardson did. The commission didn't catch Panama Lewis and Luis Resto. The father of Billy Collins did. All the commission did was confiscate the gloves and put it in the back seat. The commission is one of the weakest links in these boxing matches that you see on TV. They can basically determine the ins and outs of a bout. Period. Y'all need to get that. Y'all need to have that understanding about saying in Vegas look, I've heard people say, well, Las Vegas, you know, Nevada State Athletic Commission, they had one of the toughest commission, and no way nothing like that can happen. Listen, anybody can be bought. Anybody. Let me give you a perfect example on how the commission is the weakest link. Just go back to Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. When the first time when he bit when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield on his right ear and took a piece of his ear out, Mills Lane was going to stop the fight. And shout out to Devil Dog, comrade of mine, Mills Lane, one of the best referees in the game before he passed. But he was going to stop the fight. All right. But the commission came in and Mills met the commission right there in the ring. And then Mills telling him, hey, this and that happened. He bit his ear, you know, stop the fight, you know, and then he checked with the commission. Is it okay? And then you see the commission say, oh, it's okay to go on. Understand what I just said. Mike Tyson bit a piece of Evander Holyfield's ear off, and the commission said it's okay for the fight to go on. So the commission allowed the fight to continue, and he bit the left ear. You all have to understand that in some of these regions, in some of these freaking fight venues, the determining factor in a lot of areas are the commission. Like, you really have some commissions out there that are assholes, man. I've experienced them, period. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. I'm pretty sure they're pretty interesting. Coco said, I never liked Pillow Fisted Fury. They hating on the truth. H-Man, it's time for Deontay to speak about this. And I'm going to get to that too, for sure. JC, you say how I know, because I've been to enough boxing matches to know what I've seen. And I'm not trying to speak on boxing matches because boxing is a small community, believe it or not. Everybody know everybody. You go to enough boxing matches, you see the same people. So for me, I'm not sitting up here putting information out about what I've seen in specific locations. I've seen them in action, though. I've seen things from going to fights. If you ain't never went to a fight before it started, See how the protocol works, the entire protocol, and how the fighters are given the brief, everything that transpires after that, all the way up to them stepping into the ring and after the post fight. You have to be there for several fights to see how different commissions work. Now, if you're talking about for the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, ask any boxer, ask any boxer or even media that's been to these fights. Why would you allow the camera to be cut off? Not cut off, impaired, restricted from the visual, especially when the stream is out to the general public? Why would you do that? Why would you go up there as Tyson Fury team, look into the camera and put a towel over and cover it up? What is the premise of that? Explain that to me. What is it? There's none. There's no excuse for it. You can't blame it on JDs because, like I said, I'm not speaking for JDs. I'm just saying what could the possibilities that could have presented themselves while he was over there. He's been with Deontay Wilder for several fights. He could have been there looking directly at certain things. Somebody could have been talking to him, but yet and still in between that time, something happened. Something happened. I wasn't there. I'm not going to sit up here and give you a mystery novel like I'm Stephen King. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you speculative what potentially could have happened. I'm just waiting for Wilder to address the issue. JD should have never been distracted in a fight of that magnitude. I don't think he was distracted in the fight, but I think you meant, as far as him being back there. We really don't know the process that happened, but come on, people, check this out. If a member of the team cover the camera up, what is that for? Why would you cover the camera up when you're streaming out to millions? When you're trying to sell the fight, why would you cover the camera up? Who would allow that to happen? If the commission is back there, you trying to tell me the commission couldn't look over there and say, hey, stop. What are you doing? Come on, man. Y'all smart. Come on. Y'all intelligent human beings, man. The commission, you trying to tell me that locker room was so big that the commission could not see somebody obstructing the view of the stream that was coming in to that entire locker room for the general audience? Man, come on now. Come on, man. MMA champ, that's not true. That's not true. When you make statements like that, you definitely just sitting up here assuming. That's absolutely assumption. You can't make a definitive statement like that because that's an assumption. You saying he was watching and found nothing. It's nothing out there, no video that gives us a full length from 0 seconds to the end point of what happened back there because the camera was covered. Hey, listen, bro. Come on, man. Just listen. When is Team Wilder going to speak on it? That's a good point. And when the words start coming out for Wilder to speak on it, I'm pretty sure it hit the airways. But I guarantee you, now that they have made mention that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury winner will face Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder is going to come out and speak on it. And that's why I was telling people that was, all up in arms, making all these plans for Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. A contract is just that. You can't sit up here and say a contract ain't shit. It would have been different if Deontay Wilder would have took the step aside money, but that's not the case. He enacted his rematch clause. Now you can just put to bed the Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua 2-fight deal. It was bullshit to begin with, and whoever believed it, that's your culpability. There's nothing I can tell you. When it's I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. That was 20 years ago. I have no idea. The commission has always been around boxing. When the sport has been regulated, there's been a commission. What I would suggest you do is actually go to a fight and learn a bit more about the commission, because the statements you're making is just on the outside looking in. The statements I'm making is from experience, from being there. And I'm not saying I've been to every fight, but I've been to enough fights to know that certain commissions are a weak link in making sure everything is handled per the protocol for which we're supposed to go by when it comes to these boxing matches. That's fact, man. Give me a year that boxing was regulated. You're gonna say the commission's gotten way better. How do you know? You haven't even been to a fight to see the discrepancies first and see what needs to be improved. So how can you say something has gotten better if you never saw what it was before? You have to have some type of measuring stick to say, okay, this is the way it was and this how it's become now. You don't even know what was wrong before to say what is right now. Cover the camera facts. The camera's always switches between. Man, I'm ignored, bruh. I'm gonna let you be. I'm just gonna skip over you, man, just like jump rope. H Money, Mike Tyson was crazy. Well, the Fury whoops him again, still a cheat or legit. Now, it's totally up to Deontay Wilder. Good question, Jay-Z. If Deontay Wilder goes in there and loses against Tyson Fury, it's a loss. And I'm still gonna be here and I'm still gonna critique the fight. Every fight doesn't blend in with the other, but I'm telling you, if Deontay Wilder goes in there and he loses to Tyson Fury, it's a loss. Then again, we have video to see. It's going to be so much scrutiny placed on this third fight. People are going to be tuned in. They're going to be like looking so closely with every freaking round. It's going to be a lot of attention placed on this next fight that Tyson Fury cannot fuck up. His team cannot cut corners. They can't cheat. Cheating can happen with the best of them. Canelo talking about it was beef. It's too many fighters that's been out here accused of cheating that got caught, and their punishment was retroactive back to the time that they potentially got caught when they was out of the ring to begin with. So no real punishment was administered, for Canelo testing positive for clenbuterol. No real punishment was given. But when it comes down to this third fight with Deontay Wilder and Fury, guess what? It's going to be so much damn attention placed on every step. Team Wilder is going to demand that certain steps be taken this time. And we just need to hope that both fighters show up COVID-19 free, that they don't test positive for COVID-19. That's the big part. I think the training is going to go very well. But when it comes down to the actual week of the fight and everything else that goes with the bubble and all this other shit, I just hope that both fighters test negative for COVID-19. Period. Mike Tyson bit off Holyfield's ear. Holyfield can't wear a COVID mask. Man, he can wear. That post that you're talking about, JC, is it was Photoshop. Holyfield actually made a short video clip, and he was wearing a freaking mask. He only bit off the back part. It wasn't even a quarter. It was less than a quarter of the cartilage of his ear. You know what I'm saying? So he still could wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? He was good. But that was funny though. I just wanted to see all these fights happen. We need it. I just want the fight fans that's out there to understand that it's okay for you all to support Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for you all to support Deontay Wilder. A lot of you all was basically criticizing his technique, how his form is as a fighter. The man will be 35 years old this year. It's really not much you're going to change all around, but it is certain areas, of course, that you can polish up. That's the whole point. You can polish up Deontay Wilder's skill set. He's had enough months to return to the ring with a solid offensive strategy to go in there and defeat Tyson Fury. Period. He can do it. Look, Deontay Wilder can defeat Tyson Fury. He can get his belt back. And you know what? When he get his belt back, he go over there and knock out Dillian Whyte. all right, in shorter fashion than Anthony Joshua did, because Dillian Whyte has already made it clear that he's going to go in there and go all out in the first 1 or 2 rounds. And if he gets chinned, and that's a term, again, knocked out in the UK, if he gets chinned, he's fine with it. But he's going to go out there and go full blast and see what happened. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go caution to the wind, reckless abandonment, and try to go there and shock Deontay Wilder early. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, Dillian Whyte, because Anthony Joshua stopped him in 7, and I'm pretty sure Deontay Wilder can stop him in earlier fashion. Period. Hey, I don't care, MMA champ, what you used to do and what you currently do when it comes to supporting Deontay Wilder. Kudos. Everybody have their reasoning for supporting the fighters they do. It's all good. As long as you don't get on here criticizing, and talking nonsense, we all good. But in my opinion, Deontay Wilder is still one of the top heavyweights, the top 2 heavyweights in the sport. Just because of one loss does not omit the fact that he reigned as WBC champion for over 5 years, y'all. His reign and what he was able to do as a heavyweight champ placed him in the company of great boxers before him. That's fact. You can't turn that down. That's fact. Now it's even going to be better once he returned at the end of the year and defeat Tyson Fury, and then go over there and knock out Dillian Whyte. And then when punk ass Joshua come up to play, we get to hear all the excuses of the biggest ducker in boxing. What's going to be his excuse now? Him and Eddie Hearns. What are they going to say? Well, we understand what you did to Dillian Whyte, but Anthony Joshua, he had a brace on his left leg and his elbow had tendonitis in it. And, his shoulder is just not ready yet, to go in there and face. So we're going to stick around. Hey, check this out. Anthony Joshua needs to get past Kubrat Pulev and Oleksandr Usyk. That's Anthony Joshua problems right there. If he's able to come 2-0 out of that, then we'll see. But I guarantee you, y'all, if Deontay Wilder get his belt back, Anthony Joshua is going to drop one of those bouts. He's going to drop one, either to Pulev or Usyk. Remember, I told you that, man. That's what Fresh BX said last time. Coco, don't do it, bro. Coco, don't do it, bro. Fury's a cheater. I'm going to put another 2 racks on Wilder again to win by KO. See, I can respect that, Coco. You know what I'm saying? I can respect you staying loyal to the game, man, on the fighter, and you won't be persuaded by outside energy from individuals who really never supported the champ to begin with. I can respect that from a man. You know what I'm saying? Hold your square and do what you understand that feels good to you. It's your money. Don't let nobody persuade you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let H Money persuade you otherwise. Do what you do, man. That's why it's called. I don't know who you're talking about fighting bombs. I don't know. I don't know why I have so many of y'all in the chat, once again, not understanding what consists in boxing. Look, if the sport of boxing in general, and this is just a cliff note, if the sport of boxing in general had killers across the board, you would still have fighters with losses on their record, because everybody can't be killers and continue to win. So why keep on talking about every fighter? Oh, they fight bums. They fight bums. What I do know is that the majority of the language that is distributed in a live chat from individuals that never stepped in the ring before, it sums everything up, because it's easy to sit behind the screen and call a fighter a bum just off assessing their box rec and looking at some videos, than actually knowing how difficult it is to go 2 rounds. To go 2 3-minute rounds. You know what I'm saying? Go 1 round. If you're gonna say, if you're talking about Wilder, you're gonna say, okay, Wilder was fighting bums. You got to say Fury was fighting bums. You know what I'm saying? You got to say Anthony Joshua. Come on, y'all not gonna mention Fury, but you're gonna mention Wilder? Sefer Seferi? He picked the man up like a grown-ass baby and was cradling in his arms. Francisco Pianetta? Come on, bro. Who knows that? This is coming off a hiatus from fighting a boxer who was on a hiatus. So basically, he went in there. He was able to have one of the most boringest heavyweight fights ever. Get on drugs, come back. Sefer Seferi, Francisco Pianetta, goes to a draw with Deontay Wilder and steps in there with Tom Schwartz and then Otto Wallin. Who are those four fighters outside of Deontay Wilder, man? Come on, y'all do better than that. Y'all, come on. Work with me. And that's your you know, you can support who you want to, but who do you support? Let's ask that question. If you don't support Wilder, who do you support and why? If you can't tell me who do you support and why, then you're just being a casual on here saying that you don't like Deontay Wilder because it's the talking point. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give you all that heat that you're looking for, bro. Because I know you're a hater. Point blank, I know you're a hater, period. When people get on here and talk about who is he beat, that's not for me to answer. It's for you to do your homework and find out. Assess the competition and the people that's on their resume and compare them to his compeers. His compeers are other fighters that compete in the same sport. In this particular case, in the same division as the fighter that we're talking about. So we're talking about Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. Scrub the list of their opponents and compare them to their compeers, colleagues, however you want to call it. Coco say AJ got to fight his Mandos forever with excuses. Yeah, AJ, unified champion. He has Kubrat Pulev, and also he has Oleksandr Usyk. I'm really looking forward to both of those fights because, in my opinion, AJ is the most hyped, overhyped boxer in the game right now. Seriously, AJ is hype. He has a chin of wet confetti and styrofoam, and that is the fact. Period. He struggled against a freaking fighter that's been out the sport close to a year and a half. I've told you the whole process leading up to how AJ got his belts. Charles Martin took a dive. Come on, in 2 rounds. We know he received the biggest check of his life, went up there and got on drugs and enjoyed the life and all this other shit. Now he's coming back to boxing. You know, he went in there against Andy Konoski. And guess what? Even the commentator said it, that Charles Martin took a dive in that fight. Joseph Parker, he did everything to survive. He didn't even fight to keep his title. He did everything to survive. He wanted to be the first one to go the distance with Anthony Joshua. And guess what? He succeeded. He didn't look hurt. He didn't look like he was disappointed at the end of the fight when he lost his WBO title. He looked happy. He was full of jubilee. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that. JC Fresh BX said Miguel Bichette, Duck Jamel Herring, and that they ain't getting no love right now, man. Because I ain't giving no love. This is Wilder and Fury right now. This is the champ. This is the heavyweight champ, Deontay Wilder, coming back to the sport. We ain't talking about the 140 division right now. We ain't talking about the 130 division right now. We ain't talking about the 135-pound division. We talking about the heavyweights. We talking about the bronze bomber dropping his landing gear again at the end of the year and touching down on Tyson Fury's neck. That's what we talking about. We want the U.S. champ back in the house. That's my concern. All that other nonsense, it ain't happening tonight. I'm a fan because Sure you are. I'm not even gonna read your comment. I'll let everybody else read it. JC, come on, world. You telling me to say bums, and you pretty much calling AJ a bum. I never call AJ a bum. Listening is the key to verbiage interpretation. Listening is the key to verbiage interpretation. I did not call AJ a bum. I say he was overrated. So you really can't sit up here and basically interpret it and regurgitate it however you feel. And this is light work. This is light. That's one. AJ is one fighter. And if you don't wholeheartedly support AJ, but you want to criticize me for being critical of AJ, what is that? That's just being a person that's in the chat having fun, free flowing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of casualness a little bit, JC. And you ain't that guy. I don't see you as a casual boxing fan. But the comments to you and MMA Champ is making are casual. Because both of y'all want to support AJ, but you don't want to support Deontay Wilder. That's casual conjoinment right there. That's basically being followers. You know what I'm saying? Just to make the chat interesting. Light work. Light work. It's light work. Y'all better save that energy for H Money's live early later on. Save that energy. Because he'll go all the entire time from start to finish. Save that energy for H Money and get in the chat talking reckless. Go ahead, save it for him. I'm not gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder will come back, get his title for Tyson Fury, and then step in there, close out Dillian Whyte in early fashion, and shock the boxing world. Now he's gonna have Anthony Joshua in his line of sight once again. And hopefully we can get an undisputed title. And Anthony Joshua was able to hold up his end of the bargain. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. Excuse me. We need Anthony Joshua to run the gauntlet on his mandatories. He need to get past Pulev and he need to get past Usyk. Complete that, Deontay Wilder be waiting. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm talking about. Bronze bomber, returning to the sport, shocking the sport, messing up everybody's plan, especially all the U.S. haters that he has over here. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to see. We're waiting on the bronze bomber to get back in the ring because I know he has more to offer. I know he's still competitive in the sport. That ain't going nowhere. I'm not going to sit up here and ask y'all like, why y'all hating on Deontay so much? I don't give a damn. I'm going to say what I say. I look at it like this, JC. You say pump the brakes. I'm not an AJ fan, but you defending what I'm saying about AJ. That's pointless because I would never get on here and defend a fighter who I truly don't support. Why waste the energy to defend a fighter just for conversation? It's pointless, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's pointless. Why sit up here and say, well, the talking point is Deontay Wilder, but since AJ is in the conversation, let me sit up here and say, well, you basically call AJ. I didn't call AJ a bum. I say he's overrated. If you look at everything I did back in 2018 on AJ, it's the same language. It's the same cadence. The hardcore boxing fans will say the same thing. He's protected. We saw it with Andy Ruiz. He's protected, man. But like I said, I don't see you as a casual boxing fan. Man, I'm not even going to all that public record, copy and paste. I done heard all that before. I don't even have time. You know why? It's 9 already. I don't want to run this all the way down for when you start your live. All that is old news, man. Klitschko, Dillian Whyte. Man, that's old news. Old ass Povetkian, repeat drug cheat. Charles Martin gave up his title. He gave up his title. He took a dive in 2 rounds. Make sure you put that in there. Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz came in there with chocolate and caramel nougat on his fingers before the fight was starting. You know what I'm saying? Because he had them melted Snicker bars in his pocket. in Saudi Arabia and didn't know the temperature was going to be that hot, came in there severely overweight, and he really didn't put up too much of a contest. That's old news. That's old news, man. I'm not even going to read that. That's embryonic. That's like juvenility that you putting out, bro. You bet I won't get in the ring with a. That's just like, this shit is funny. Thanks for the attention, though. It's hilarious, man. It's just like going to the playground, man, and seeing the kids on the outside, and you see, one kid on the swing set, and y'all waiting on permission to get permission to go, and go on the swing set and the sliding board. I mean, come on, man. This shit is hilarious. I bet you won't get in the ring with AJ. Man, come on, man. That's hilarious. Who is the professional fighter and who's doing media? That's hilarious, man. Thanks for the comedy. Supreme, salute to you, man. AJ gets a pass. They're much easier than Wilder gets a pass, Fury and Whyte. Appreciate that knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. AJ definitely get a pass. Supreme, you have a lot of people that want to live vicariously through AJ. A lot of these individuals, if they could, they'd get an AJ poster and put it in their bathroom. So every time they get out the shower, they can look in the mirror and look at AJ, look in the mirror, look at AJ, so they can have some type of goals to set on who they want to be in life. You have some people that's like that. They want to be AJ. But if you look at the entire process of how they built Anthony Joshua, he lost his gold medal round in the London Olympics. He lost that, but they gave it to him because of where the fight took place. That's fact. Anybody in their right mind that's had just a little bit time will go look at that match and know that he lost against a guy that's already been at the top tier. Several times he lost that bout. Anthony Joshua should have been a silver medalist, if anything. But they robbed the man and gave it to Anthony Joshua. That's fact, man. He's overrated. AJ gets the pass. When it came time for people to sit up here and listen to Eddie Hearn say, you know what? We offered Deontay Wilder $120 million. And then people jump on here. Oh, well, why Deontay Wilder didn't take? He ducked Anthony Joshua. Listen, did you just see? I'm going to tell you what I saw. Did you see what happened to Dominic Brazil? Were you there? I was there. I was at the presser. I saw the heat that was going down. I was at the weigh-in, front row, and I was at the fight. He knocked the man out. So Eddie Hearn's deal was to face Brazil and then 2 fights with Anthony Joshua. Why? Why would Deontay Wilder take that particular deal just because Eddie Hearn's put it out there? It makes no sense, people. It makes no sense. So they can put all these stipulations into the fight. You know what I'm saying? So they can say, okay, we offered Deontay Wilder the contract. But we all know from the outside looking in, we don't get to read the fine details of the contract. Just like the shit that went down in New York when Eddie Hearns was coming over here for the Jarrell Miller press conference, when Anthony Joshua was supposed to face Jarrell Miller, who popped positive that time too. And they said they was coming over here to sign a contract, right? But with further investigation, once it was revealed whose name was on that contract, which really didn't go through the proper protocol for Team Wilder, it was Eddie Hearns. And you know what he said? He said, Eddie Hearns, why was your name on the contract? He said, oh, I can sign a contract for Joshua. I own him. That's what Eddie Hearns say. He owned Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua lied and said he signed the contract, and he never signed the contract. They want to come over here to NYC and walk through the streets and act like, do you know Deontay Wilder? Do you know Deontay Wilder? Nobody want to hear that shit. That was fake. Come on, y'all do better, man. Y'all do better. JC said, you got on me for calling Wilder opponents bums, but you discrediting AJ opponents. This is what I said, JC. Open your ears, man. Euphoniously. Allow it to be harmony, bruh. This is what I said. I said, if you're going to say Deontay Wilder's resume, he fighting bombs, then we can say that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua was bum. When this is over with, go back and rewind it to what I said. I'm not gonna sit up here and break it down. I'm not gonna do it. That's what I said. And I'm not getting on you for nothing. I'm responding to your comment. And I look, when y'all in the live chat like this, appreciate your input. But y'all tag teaming each other in, it don't matter. It don't matter. Y'all can co-sign on each other. Good job, H. Good job. That shit is hilarious, man. Appreciate the input, though. Appreciate, the feedback. 87 in the building. What's good? He said Wilder the face of boxing. Wilder, he hasn't went anywhere, man. It's just in between fights. And the testament of a man is how they react in the face of controversy. And Wilder has faced controversy, just like a lot of fighters before him have faced controversy. Some of the greats have multiple losses on their record. Multiple losses. From Hagler, Sugar Ray to Sugar Ray Robinson to Ali. It's just so many fighters that's out there that's considered some of the best to ever do it that have losses. Joe Louis, Foreman. I mean, you can go down the line, man. One loss does not determine a fighter's future in the sport and how he will be looked upon his fans. Like Deontay Wilder, he may have some fans out here in the U.S., a lot of fans that just don't like who he is as a person. But as a fighter, he's one of the baddest to ever do it. Supreme said it makes no sense why Wilder ducked 120. It's a 3-fight deal for 120. I wouldn't have took that fight because it's dealing with Eddie Hearns. And like I said before, we don't know the details, the fine details that was contractually in that agreement. So we can't say Deontay Wilder ducked anything. He's been able to go out here and make pretty good money facing the top fighters in the division, not the Sefer Safaris or the Tom Schwartz. The 2 losses on Luis Ortiz's record is from Deontay Wilder. When he laid out Romain Stavern, the only person to go the distance with him, yes, the crowd was on their feet. The crowd was on their feet, man. Then also look at his schedule that he was able to accomplish in 2019, having back-to-back tough fights. You know what I'm saying? Stepping in there with Tyson Fury after coming off a tough, training camp for Luis Ortiz. Come on, man. You got to give Wilder his credit, man. He wasn't ducking no smoke. He was setting the fires. '87 say Wilder finna KO Fury for weird. Yeah, man. Team Wilder, bro. Like, come on. Wilder is still competitive in the sport of boxing. His power ain't went nowhere. What do you all have positive to say about the champ? Don't don't have resistance against what I'm telling you just because it's fun. You know what I'm saying? You find some humility in doing it. That's casualness. Tell me why you don't support the champ. For what reason you don't support the champ? You know what I'm saying? Not just because I'm talking about it. I'm not impulsive off comments, man. I'm not going to get impulsive off of it. Supreme said Mayweather, Rocky Marciano, Joe Calzaghe were all unbeaten. True words. True words. Mayweather 5 division, Rocky Marciano in the heavy division, of course, took a lot of punishment. He had the right hand. He would take some punches to give punches. His right hand was named Susie Q. Joe Calzaghe, we all know what it was about with Joe Calzaghe. He got out the game unbeaten. His last opponent was Roy Jones Jr. Facts. Holla at me. JC, what you talking about? Rob Chill. What are you talking about? He's speaking sense. Oh, Rob said JC a known fan. Man, hey, you know, JC got a wrench, Rob. You know what I'm saying? Public record, MMA champ, public record. It's no need for me to use my oxygen. You know what I'm saying? That's public record. And it's just opinionated that you put in there. Why waste so much time putting that in there without you really reading and see if it has substance to it? You know what I'm saying? Before you even press enter, just see if it has substance to the host. Supreme said, no, Wilder said he's going to box Fury. He's going to lose again. We don't know what Wilder's plan is going to be. We don't know that. The fight is still months out, if it even goes down this year. You know what I'm saying? Even if it goes down this year, we don't know how he's going to fight. But he does have some other trainers in the building. You know what I'm saying? He does have other individuals that he's getting guidance from to come back in here and look that much better. Just because you say it's facts doesn't mean it's facts. And you're not stating facts. When you sit up here saying a fighter has ducked AJ, Wilder has fought guys in top 15 and has 40 fights. Wilder has ducked. See, when you say Wilder has ducked AJ, you're absolutely making no sense. Zero sense. And like I said, I'm not impulsive, man. You light work, bro, because I'm just gonna take it as if it, you're just going through the embryonic stages of learning about boxing. When you say Wilder has ducked AJ, it absolutely makes no sense. You know, none at all. None at all. It's just you're trying to get certain energy, but really, I will hope you can have a productive boxing dialogue when you visit World Combat Sports. I'm not even timing you out, but you know, the suit that you're wearing right now has casual written across it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to get some energy and you're displaying haterism. You know what I'm saying? You're displaying haterism. Come on here, World Combat Sports live chat, and talk some conducive boxing dialogue. Just don't go in the chat every single time. You know what I'm saying? You have what you have, MMA champ, right? What you have since you changed your name. You have a consistency with putting comments in there that's opposite of what I agree on. That's what you do. And when you have individuals that have that type of mannerism or habitual offenders like yourself, all you want is attention and you want the entire conversation to be about you. Now let's talk about Deontay Wilder going in there defeating Tyson Fury and giving him his first loss. Let's talk about supporting Deontay Wilder out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, that started fighting for his family with a very limited amateur pedigree and still earned a bronze medal. Let's talk about the goodness, man. Let's talk about everything that's positive on a guy who they say has the structure and body frame of a basketball player, but yet, the man has 41 knockouts to his boxing ledger. The man is in boxing history shoulder abreast with some of the greats to ever do it. Supreme, nope, he ducked 120 million. Deontay didn't duck anything, man. None of you all understand that when these fighters return to the sport, that's basically proven that boxing does not have a residual income once the sport has expired. Once that fighter decides to hang up the gloves, right? Everything that fighter has did internally when they was active will now come into play. And if they don't have a way to earn residual income once their career is over, sooner or later they're gonna have to return back to the sport. So not all money is good money. You heard that before. Not all money is good money. So just because Eddie Hearns put stuff out, y'all have to stop being the bait on the hook. Y'all have to stop going for the bait on the hook, man. I demand y'all be better than that. Anthony, what's good? He said, y'all jealous of Wilder, man. Whatever they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they got going on. Supreme say, Rob, you fake news. Fury didn't cheat. Fury did cheat. Fury cheated. Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all go find your boy over there. You know what I'm saying? One thing about me, I'm an old school cat. I would definitely like to speak about boxing. I'm not in elementary. I have a college degree, retired military of 20 years. I'm just not going to play around with other people's kids. If you keep on acting like juvenility is what you want to display, that's not, I'm not the channel you want to come to. I don't mind the back and forth. I don't mind that. But when you just start talking about Wilder, your boyfriend, and all, man, come on, boy. Man, come on, man. Be better. You're a grown-ass man behind the screen talking that nonsense. He's gone, man. Period. He'll probably come back over here in a ghost account. But look, that's the whole point. Go put in work. Come back over here in a ghost account so I can block your ass again. I'm not going to allow somebody to just float around in my chat talking because they have a connection with another channel I support. It's not going to happen. For any one of y'all that's out there, it's not going to happen. Nathaniel Copeland, what's good? He said, I need all them belts, man. I can take the heat or whatever. But when you start talking about Wilder, my boyfriend, you know, just because I'm supporting him, that's beneath what I choose to entertain. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid, y'all. And a lot of black fight fans get that label of being fanboys when they support another black fighter when it comes to black media supporting black fighters. And I really don't have to explain what the difference is, because when y'all go here and support Vasily Lomachenko with 14 wins and that loss, then it's all good. He one of the greatest to ever do it. When y'all want to support Alexander Usyk, oh, he unified the cruiserweight division. Who the hell knows who's in the cruiserweight division? Who did he defeat in that tournament to get the belts? You know what I'm saying? Gennady Golovkin. Come on, man. He's been exposed more than one time. He's taken an extreme amount of punishment. The best thing he ever did was lead Abel Sanchez when he signed that new deal. Salute Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be up here. Oh, Triple G, he the best. Nobody can beat him. Danny Jacobs, man. A lot of people say he exposed Triple G's weak points. He shut down that 23 fight win streak, that knockout streak he had, rather. He shut that down. Supreme, I'll skip over that. I see you on some casualness. Timothy said the zone admitted that they didn't handle Wilder right when they offered the 120. You know, I just expect some of these cats to just do a little bit more research there, Timothy. That's all. I can't go up here and turn this into a carnival. You're not going to get that energy. Unless it's something that has value to it, then I would give it the attention that it needs. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going back and forth, man, like this is preschool, bro. Like we're doing virtual learning and shit. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no, we ain't going back and forth like this is Mickey Mouse Playhouse. You know what I'm saying? No, we ain't doing that. We're the best to ever do it is Salido. Salido, a tough fighter, man. I don't know if he's the best to ever do it, but you know, he was able to shut down Vasily Lomachenko. Supreme say, no, that's not what happens when beat the fight. The best that's like saying Joe Frazier exposed Ali. Now what happened when the best fight the best? Okay, we're still waiting for some of the best to fight the best. And another credit that isn't given for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is the fact that he was willing to step in there for a trilogy. How often do you see a fighter that's at the top of the pinnacle go in there and fight the toughest fighter that's in your division, and next to you as the highest ranked fighter go in here for a trilogy? How many times have we seen a fighter say, you know what, the rematch is what it is, and I ain't trying to fight you again anytime soon? Deontay Wilder was trying to go right back in there after the first fight and fight Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury went out here and didn't want the immediate rematch. So he chose to fight Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallen and go over there and fight Braun Strowman in the WWE. Y'all better calm down. Come on, man. That's facts. All the other nonsense is opinions, but that's facts what I just told you. Deontay Wilder wanted the rematch immediately, but Tyson Fury deterred and went another route. Then he came back around after he was comfortable. After Tyson Fury was comfortable with the plan that was in place, and they had to make sure everybody was good to go. Even Mr. Carefoot came out about the uncastrated wild boar. They hurry up and send him back into seclusion. But that just goes to show you the extent for which Tyson Fury is willing to cheat, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, y'all better than this. You can't sit up there and keep on pointing the finger that Deontay Wilder is this, he ain't this, he ain't that. What is good about the man? Because if he's never popped positive, he's never been locked up, incarcerated, confined, he's not sitting up here grabbing and snatching up women in public, he hasn't been caught for shoplifting. The dude, look, Deontay Wilder hasn't been on TV having his property repossessed, financially in a bond with his money. What are you all hating on this man for? What is the purpose of so much discontent that you have from a person who hasn't even came close to doing what Tyson Fury did? Tyson Fury was on drugs. He was on peds. He was actually in that fight with Klitschko dirty. So therefore, if Deontay Wilder has not mirrored up to any of these type of mischievous behavior that Tyson Fury has been a part of, criminal behavior, why do you hate him so much? Come on now. Rob JC still going at it. Come on, ask me the questions, man. Y'all don't go at each other in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? Do what y'all do. Talk about boxing. Let me see. No, I don't agree with that. How is it when someone say Fury didn't cheat, you call them casuals, but him cheating is facts? One thing I can say, JC, you ask questions that you can answer yourself, because it's no facts out there that Deontay Wilder ever cheated. We live in a world where you can basically gather up visuals. We're talking about media, multimedia. And like, once again, you all are able, if you're able to sit in here and join lives and talk boxing, you're able to do research. If you're able to input questions, then I expect you to at least have half the answer to the question that you answer. And you would know that the factual evidence has been out there for Tyson Fury for quite some time. Just like I say with his team covering up the video stream that was going into the locker room. That's fact. The company for which his gloves, the WBC, is partners with him. That's fact. The screenshots that's out there of how different his gloves look on his hand. That's fact. That's not anything that's created. That's out there in the virtual, that's out there in the world of multimedia for us to access and then put it all together and speak on it. That's fact, man. Easy work. What's good? What's good? Salute, man. Appreciate you stopping through. I said Playhouse for a reason. Superb. I said Mickey Mouse Playhouse for a reason, because some of the comments out here, people are just playing around. See, once again, you got somebody correcting a grown ass man as if I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not capable of articulating myself in what I'm trying to say. It's good. I don't know how old you are, but it's good that you was able to say it's Mickey Mouse house, not Playhouse. Man, come on, bro. This is what we talking about, not on World Combat Sports, man. Come on now. Pacquiao Marquez. Oh, I know 87. I know. But see, just because I'm just not gonna deal with it because I can. It's my platform. You come in here with one of the same names. It's not your day. Hey, Chain TC, what's good, man? Who has metal in his hands? There is he has metal in his hands. Who has metal in his hands? And do you have evidence that someone has metal in their hands? Where's the metal at? It's definitely not over the properties of the knuckles. So how does it make any sense? Do he have metal stripping from his knuckles to his middle joint of his fingers to his fingertips? Like, what are we talking about? Metal. What are we talking about? I don't see how that's relevant, bro. I don't see how it's relevant. Who Chain TC? Who has metal instead of bone? Man, y'all are funny as hell, man. The only thing that we're missing is some drink, for real. Because the comments, man, y'all need to ask some questions about Deontay Wilder going in there getting his belt back against Tyson Fury and admit to the fact that Tyson Fury is a bona fide cheater. JC, you asking all these questions, but come on, ask the questions about Tyson Fury, why he didn't take the immediate rematch. Why didn't Tyson Fury has enough courage to take the immediate rematch against the Bronze Bomber? Why he wanted to go over there and fight Braun Strowman in the WWE? Why was he stalling? Why couldn't you just return to the ring, the right ring, where you make a living and fight the Bronze Bomber when you have immediate rematch? Why you run? Tyson Fury was running for answers. He had to go fire and rehire. He had to go fire Ben Davison, go over there and get Sugar Hill, come up with his plan, put up the smoke and mirrors, make people believe that he's going back to his roots. And all along, it was just a screen to go up here and get his plan, his master plan in place. The way Deontay Wilder looked, man, come on. Obviously, something was wrong. Man, come on. Wilder don't have no damn medal in his hands. Come on, Chain TC. Bro, I ain't trying to time you out on some buffoonery. But listen, it's too many of y'all over here just talking nonsense. Come on, man. Make it conducive. Make it conducive, man. That's what it's all about. Talk about the champ, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I don't hear you all saying positive info. I don't hear y'all complimenting how much power the champ. I don't see y'all talking about the knockouts that he has possessed us with. He's blessed us with for the boxing annals. Once he's out of the sport, we can look back on all those knockouts. Obviously, a lot of y'all haven't been to a Deontay Wilder fight because it was full of energy when he was over there knocking them cats out. Everybody was showing love. Come on, man. William, what's good? Had the surgery and on the meds, and Fury is absolutely guilty. No, Fury's a cheat, man. I mean, if he went over there, you know, LM, I understand him making a little bit more check, but how do you make your living? Is it in wrestling entertainment, or you was kind of trying to put something together? You wasn't sure about stepping in there in that amount of time that was allotted to you in that immediate rematch. I don't think Tyson Fury was confident to step back in there for immediate rematch with Deontay Wilder. He had to come up with a plan. He had to go back and practice that plan so it can be executed effectively, so he can do what he was able to do. Convince the crowd that he was this new improved fighter. No, man, he's a cheat. Tyson Fury is a cheat. Period. Accept it. Know it. Digest it. Tyson Fury is a freaking cheat. Y'all know it. Hey, the haters are always going to be around, but it's not up to me to address all of them. JT. Let me go back to where I saw you at. JT said he just outboxed him, trying to get better, maybe scared to a bit of losing. From what I've witnessed with Deontay Wilder and, being his sparring, seeing him fight on more than one occasion, I don't think he was scared at all. It doesn't make any sense that a man would throw more punches than Tyson Fury in the first fight, but all of a sudden he's scared in the rematch. That makes no sense at all. Why would Deontay Wilder all of a sudden be scared of Tyson Fury when he threw more punches than Tyson Fury in the first round and he was able to get 2 knockdowns? One definitive knockdown where Tyson Fury was out. His eyes was in the back of his head. The man was out cold and the fight should have been stopped. But due to the magnitude of the master plan not going the way they wanted to go, they wanted to make sure Tyson Fury was revived so they can get to MGM February 22nd. Yeah, because Deontay Wilder would have went in there and slept Tyson Fury and the fight would have been called off. Then we would have had another rematch and Deontay Wilder would have came in there 1-0 on Tyson Fury. Then the conversation would have been different. What would the haters would have said then? Deontay Wilder clearly knocked out Tyson Fury. Clearly, he slept him. Clearly. Right, left. Come on. Power transfers over to championship rounds, y'all. Deontay Wilder's power transfer over to the championship rounds. That's no dispute. When did Tyson Fury's power transfer early rounds as this behemoth of a puncher? Nah, it's never been that. It's never been that, especially when you walk around over 300 pounds. Jarrell Miller has fought over 305. We know he didn't have power. I don't think so. I disagree. Hey, this is a perfect example. All the people that's in the live chat, it's a perfect example of how many individuals would not say one positive thing about Deontay Wilder, but they will compliment the other fighter. But yet, if I compliment Wilder, the first words out their mouth is fanboyism, which that doesn't basically pertain to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm able to support who I feel like supporting. But when it comes to, once again, black media, a lot, they love calling black media who support other fighters who are black. They will say, oh, it's quick to be fanboyism. And that's far from the truth. Support is absolute support. You know what I'm saying? If you support a fighter, a particular fighter, it's not being a fanboy. It's a lot of ways, you know. I can give you a full list of what fanboy may consist of by someone's actions. But I cover multiple sports with multiple fighters. That's all I can tell you. Fury beat. No one said AJ wasn't black. AJ, you know, his Nigerian roots is not displayed over there in the UK colors. A little bit of history. Look at all the fighters that fight beneath the UK banner. They don't fight with their own flag. They may wear the colors to the ring and all that. But if you look on BoxRec, they're under the UK. They're under the UK colors. They can be from anywhere in the world. They can be South Africa, Nigerian, Uganda. They're going to fight on the UK colors. You know what I'm saying? But over here in the US, fighters from a different country, they have their own colors. They have their nation colors, their country colors. But not in the UK. That's fact. Look it up. Look it up. Victor say Wilder only lost one fight. He's one of the greatest of all time. I agree with that. You know, Wilder is definitely one of the greatest to do it. Like I said before, I just don't want to ask the question too much as to why a lot of U.S. fans are unwilling to support him. Is it because of his fighting style? Is it because he's from Alabama? I really don't care to ask those all the time. All I know is if you are a pure mainstream boxing fan and he's providing you the excitement, the action, the suspense, he's giving you the type of energy that you look for from a heavyweight fighter, but it's not enough because he doesn't fit the nomenclature that you're used to processing in your brain as a casual boxing fan as being a complete boxer. Heavyweights are not complete boxers. You don't see them moving around on their toes all the time. They're heavyweights. You don't see, you know, that so-called template. Boxing doesn't have a template when it comes to technique. It's just whether you can throw a jab consistently, whether you have punch combinations and you can set them up correctly. But every boxer fights differently. The lighter weight classes, of course, are much faster. And they'll move around a lot more, but not the heavyweights. Not the heavyweights. The heavyweights don't fight like that. Look at George Foreman. Look how George Foreman fought. Look at Muhammad Ali when he used to, you know, lay on the ropes and take punishment. But yet the only thing you remember is him throwing jabs. And he was able to stand in the pocket and use his speed, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Is that it? That's all you remember? You trying to tell me Joe Frazier's style was something that you want to grow up and fight like? No, nobody's trying to emulate Joe Frazier. They're not trying to do that. Come on, man. Boxing doesn't have a template, bro. You learn how to fight your style, the best of your ability, and make sure it's effective against your opponent. That's what you do in the sport of boxing. Yeah, it's certain technique that you're taught. Great. The jab is one of them. But sometimes individuals like Deontay Wilder is blessed to have power the way he does, to possess the veracity, to generate fast twitch and hit somebody with the power he has, is being as tall as he is. That's a blessing. That's not a curse. That's a blessing. It's just some of these hating ass fans try to make it a curse instead of saying it's a blessing. That's it. That's all. RLM is delusional. You know, I just skip over, you know, like I say, play hopscotch and shit, man. And the good thing about the comfort zone of YouTube, it allows people to create accounts after accounts and feel comfortable and say some stuff that just don't make any sense. Right, while dipping his hands in gasoline. So Chain TC said that dipping hands in gasoline isn't cheating. So look at it this way. Is it a form or a method that's implemented in training that you can go back in the boxing annals and retrieve that criteria and present it to me that dipping hands in gasoline is a normality when it comes to the sport of boxing? I mean, I've seen individuals, especially overseas. I've seen third, fourth, fifth degree black belts has been in the game for quite some time, and they've remained over there in the Orient, right? They practice martial arts over there for a long time, which themselves, they pound rice, they pound rocks, they pound wood, bamboo, a lot with their knuckles, and they develop a callus and deaden the nerves in their knuckles and shins. And you can see it. That doesn't mean they're cheating. It's that they took another type of alternative method to basically deaden the nerves in their hands so they can throw harder punches. You know what I'm saying? But dipping your hand in a substance such as gasoline, what's the point behind that? You know what I'm saying? Shout out Line Killer in the building. What's good, man? Make sure y'all check out his channel, man. Subscribe to his channel and go check him out. Anthony said floppy gloves first fight plus no padding. The second, and you call that fair. That's all I'm trying to say. The information is out there, so I really don't have to, you know, put that into a safe deposit box. No, it's out there for the public. It's nothing secret about it. The evidence is out there. It's just all about people understanding and accepting the fact that Tyson Fury is a cheater. And what he was able to do to Deontay Wilder is take him through a different level of pain, which Deontay Wilder was fighting for his life in there. You know, let's think about this. Did Deontay Wilder at any point in time, being knocked down twice, did he quit? Did Deontay Wilder quit? Ask yourself that question in your sleep. Say it 50 times before you shut your eyelids. Did he quit? Did he quit like Joshua? When Joshua's mouthpiece was spit out for him to damn buy more time against Andy Ruiz, a last-minute replacement, and when the referee walked up to him to ask him questions, did he respond effectively to continue the fight? No, he did not. The ref called a fight. Deontay Wilder did not quit. Y'all need to understand that. He never quit, y'all. I know what gasoline does, but you know, it's up for the people to understand Tyson Fury is who he is. Yeah, in bare knuckle fights, man, they have a lot of methods that they go through to toughen up and deaden their nerves. You know, overseas, they use a lot of bamboo, kicking bamboo to deaden the nerves in their shins so they can just kick as hard as they want to. And if, you know, especially in Muay Thai, if it's shin to shin, it doesn't matter. They never feel it. You barely have any meat on your shin bone. You know that. But you do have nerves. And, you know, you have people that take time to go through the process and deaden their nerves through remediated process of strike after strike after strike. And it gets to a point that they don't feel anything. They can kick a tree and they don't feel nothing. William, what's good, man? It's this guy, these guys who know absolutely nothing about boxing refuse to look at the evidence because they don't want to admit that their guy is a cheat. I totally agree, man. Appreciate that. I totally agree. It's a lot of people that are asking questions, negative questions, against Deontay Wilder, who hasn't been in confinement. He hasn't been a drug addict, a dope fiend. Why is it so difficult for you to have that same reserve? You know what I'm saying? Where's the love at? You're supporting fighters that are opposite of my talking point for no specific reason. You must have a legitimate reason for not showing that solid, genuine support for a champ who reigned over 5 years and defended his title an 11th time, but came up short against Tyson Fury, who accepted the top challengers in his division. He tried to fight Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua is not making the calls. So when he asked for $50 million, he couldn't accept it, and he didn't want to accept it. The man literally was online talking about, I will not sell my soul. Who in the hell told you to sell your soul for $50 million? So you're trying to tell me when your belts are at home and you walk out the house to go train, you're trying to tell me there's a connection, a spiritual connection where your belts are saying, AJ, get your ass back here, man. I didn't tell you to go out there that long. You trying to tell me your belts are talking to you, AJ? Your soul has a lot to do with your belts? For $50 million guaranteed. That wasn't the cap money you was going to make. That was just the guaranteed money you was going to get. The only thing you had to do was fight in the States with no rematch clause for all the marbles. That's all you had to do. And you would have made a cool 75, 80 million on that fight. Easy. Of course, Eddie Hearns would have been there with the blade. He would have took his huge, 3/4 of the pie, and you would have got you would have got your small slice at the end, but you said you didn't want to sell your soul for the belts. And then they come out with a bogus 2-fight Wembley deal. And then they come up with the zone deal, a $1 billion DAZN deal. How's that working out? Everybody talking about Eddie Hearns, went on this $1 billion. No, it's contingent. It was contingent. It wasn't no $1 billion DAZN deal and then, everybody rich. No, it's still contingent. They're still struggling. Wasn't they the same people who put that female fight on? Estrada and Atkins. Atkins coming in there. Somebody approved her record. She was 5-0, haven't fought nobody. 5-0, 5 knockouts. And I try to sit up here and explain to people all the time, and what you're seeing happens all the time in boxing. Atkins stepping in there with a champ never should have been in the same proximity to even touch gloves with this girl unless it was in a gym off site. And she went on TV and was slept in 7 seconds. When Estrada closed the distance, Atkins she didn't even know how to put her hands up to defend herself properly. I don't even think this mother, because she had mom across her trunks, I don't even think she's been in the gym long enough to understand what tough sparring is. Because when the bell rung and she started taking fire, she didn't know what to do. Anyway, I'm off that, man. LM, no one said the padding wasn't there. We're saying a portion of the padding may have been removed, or therefore it might have been extra weight added to the gloves in general. TC, he didn't get stopped. Wilder did not get stopped. That's false. The towel came in, which is the weakest TKO or the weakest knockout victory you can get. The towel came in. He didn't get stopped by Fury. Fury did not stop. Deontay Wilder just landed a left hand before Kenny Bailey stepped in. He didn't get stopped by Tyson Fury. The towel came into the ring. Michael Johnson, what's good, man? Salute to you. Timothy say, once again, what's accessible to the public? He said the picture of Fury's glove is online. The right hand is as flat as a board. Why? That is the question mark with the damn decimal beneath it. Why is this glove looking different than a lot of other fights we've been able to witness throughout history? Why is Fury the anomaly? Why aren't boxing fans able to basically break this down the way it's supposed to, dissect it, and come up with a viable solution to say, you know what? The evidence present itself after comparing it to multiple other, multimedia that we have, other films that we have to compare in the heavyweight division throughout. And though we've had some that sit up here and just be blasphemy and say, oh, well, Muhammad Ali, he flicked this jab out there too. Man, come on now. Come on, you're reaching. You're reaching with rubber arms with that shit. We're talking about the actual visual of Tyson Fury's glove that's not supposed to present itself like that when you're in a fight. It doesn't supposed to act like, it doesn't supposed to look like a deflated balloon. It's supposed to look like a boxing glove with the proper padding to go through commission that was approved by both teams, and also safety of the fighters. So we know in the heavyweight division it's 10-ounce gloves. Well, when you extract padding, I'm pretty sure it's less of an ounce. You know what I'm saying? It's not 10 ounces. And especially if you do it in certain areas of the knuckles, then guess what? It's going to inflict more damage over time in a short period of time than it would if you had the correct padding. And also knowing that you're not a knockout artist like Tyson Fury. We know Tyson Fury didn't have that history of knocking cats out. Man, hydrate. I'm not a doctor, bro. I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? All I can say is hydrate, man. Flush the system. Hey, Mike, I agree, man. They refuse to even want to say it's a possibility. They don't even want to have just a small percentage of culpability. They don't even, look, these people would not even give Tyson Fury a small ounce of culpability that he cheated. So how are you supposed to respect that? If you're not even applying an ounce of culpability and you see it for your own eyes, but yet you in denial, then what a person like me supposed to say to you? If you're not willing to accept that something doesn't look right, something doesn't add up across the board. People can get on here and you're always going to have different opinions, especially the boxers who have put in work and sparring over there across the pond. Of course, they're going to get on behind the mic and say, you know what? I was over there for sparring Tyson Fury, and you know what? I didn't see anything wrong. I didn't feel anything wrong. I didn't see anything wrong. Maybe so. But there are sparring partners who have. And plus, like we said, there are visual media out there for you to screenshot, slow it down, and make your own conclusion from factual evidence. It's not Photoshop. It's crazy that people will say it's Photoshop when it's real. That just goes to show you how people are trying to protect Tyson Fury. Why do you want a fighter from the UK to be glorified in the US? Why are you all not understanding that you had a US champion, heavyweight champion? Because the heavyweight division is what runs boxing, right? It's supposed to. But, you know, we all know we went to the boxing, the heavyweight depression when the Klitschko brothers was in the building. We didn't have guys who was competing to challenge them the way it should during that decade, right? But peep this out. As much as I hate saying why, like, you don't need a U.S. heavyweight champion anymore? Like, you seriously are waiting for these up-and-coming prospects to get the big fight so you can start supporting somebody that fits your framing interests of what a boxing heavyweight supposed to look like, when you had one for over 5 years and you showed them no love? All you did was criticize him. When he said the bronze bomber's looking to catch a body, let me tell you what matters physically in life. Bronze bomber saying he's looking to catch a body, or Tyson Fury coming in there with loaded gloves, beating on a body? Which one is going to resonate more to you in reality? Someone verbally putting it out there, banter, and saying, you know what, bronze bomber want to catch a body, to the person who's going out here with freaking manipulated gloves, altered gloves, causing more damage than a standard approved glove. Which one is going to do more damage when it comes to boxing? Which one is going to cause a fighter to basically be a part of the beginning stages of pugilistica, when you can barely understand what they're talking about? Their brain is telling them what to say, but when it comes time for them to basically verbalize it, they have slurred speech. That happens in the sport of boxing. So you're trying to downplay what Tyson Fury was able to do as something that couldn't have a long-term effect on Deontay Wilder? You know, putting knots on the man's head, you know, putting dents in. Man, come on, bro. Come on, man. That's fucked up. Timothy say Fury was flicking the left hook. They didn't extract any padding. You can say what you want, but when you can see the knuckle prints on the glove, unless he had them, you know, Andre the Giant hands, which he didn't, you shouldn't see knuckle prints in there. They took 4 tumors out. Wow. Dang, hope you get better, bro, for real. That's a lot. Dang. He said, I'll take American heavyweight champ, but I'm not going to believe something that isn't true. The good thing about your statement is that you are in control of your own belief system. You're engaging in dialogue on someone else's platform. You have the right to believe what you want and voice your opinion. I mean, come on, man. Feel free. I'm just telling you that that's not what I agree with. That's what I'm telling you. That is all I'm telling you. That's not what I agree with. Yeah, I know Bellator is live. I know, and I'm about to check it out. Even though it's not a heavy card, not to get off subject, but I would rather like Michael Chandler to be facing someone like one of the Pitbull brothers, Eddie Alvarez again. I'm not saying Benson Henderson isn't a good fighter, right? Because I follow mixed martial arts too. I like Benson Henderson. Seriously, I do. I like Benson Henderson. I do, man. He's a damn good fighter. But it's just something about him, you know, not being active enough. And then the energy that it takes to put his hair back. And, you know, I mean, come on, man. It's not enough rubber bands out there for you not to exert energy and putting your hair back only for your hair to return. I mean, come on, Benson Henderson. He's a tough fighter. Look at his fight against Robert Thatcher, I believe. Robert was much bigger than Benson Henderson, and he still beat him. I like him, but I don't know, man. I just don't think he's going to be as active enough to defeat Michael Chandler. Chandler, if you look at his freaking practice videos, oh man, it's beast mode. This dude is unfucking believable. Michael Chandler, his training is unbelievable. He has one of the he has the second best suplex that you will ever see in mixed martial arts. He suplexed Benson Henderson on his neck. That's a 5-point throw that he did, suplex. It's 5 points if you're grading in wrestling. The one that's above him is Kevin Rounderman when he suplexed Fedor Emelianenko. He left the ground. He took flight. That is the number one suplex you will ever see in the sport of mixed martial arts. Michael said, Laz can say boxing is corrupt for years. When it comes to scorecards, folks can't believe faulty gloves can't be brought in. They can, man. And, you know, I was telling them, Michael, right, that unless they've been to fights and kind of see how the process works, you're never going to be able to understand that it's a huge possibility that gloves can be brought in and that wasn't approved and used in the ring. It depends on where you're at in the sport of boxing. It's not impossible. It's highly possible. But you make a good point, man. A padded glove would never create that kind of damage. I agree with that, Timothy. I agree with that. I have a picture of another fighter where you can see fingers that happen when you take the picture. We can see fingers that happen when you take the picture at the perfect time. Supreme, okay. Cheating gloves can be brought in, but it didn't happen this fight. So you say, man. So you say. So you say. That's what you want. You're trying to convince yourself. You're trying to put yourself in the episode where you're convincing yourself that actually happened. Benson Henderson doesn't have that killer instinct, and people have figured out how to beat him. True words, William. And that's what I was saying. Benson Henderson, his output when it comes to Michael Chandler, I don't think he's going to have the output to go in there for 5 rounds and get the finish or even get the decision. I don't think Benson Henderson is going to be able to accomplish that. That's just me. I used to really like to see him, anticipation to see him step into the cage. But now I'm like, when he comes in there in the second round, his hair is down already, and he just want to keep flicking his hair back. I'm like, dude, you're in the fight game, bro. Wrap that rubber band around there. Get some barbed wire, some concertina wire. Goddamn, tighten that shit up with some pliers. Shit. Every other time when your hair come down, your corner act like, well, you know what? His hair is down. It's sweaty. I'm not going to be the one to put the rubber band on there between rounds. I'm going to tell you, that's what the corner is saying. The corner is not like, hey, man, who going to put the rubber band on Benson Henderson hair? They ain't trying to do that shit. So Benson Henderson come in there. He might put it up himself and then maybe give a minute or so. The shit is all the way down in his face, and all he's doing is flicking it back and forth. I mean, come on, bro. I'm just tired of seeing that shit. But good point, man. But hey, I'm about to go check out this Bellator mixed martial arts. I might do a post live on this. But everyone who stopped through that was talking that boxing, you know what I'm saying? That conducive, productive boxing that was informative for me and you. I appreciate it. I look forward. Make sure you drop back through on my next live. But salute to the champ, Deontay Wilder. You're still a champ in my eyes, man. And you did what you're supposed to do as a champ. Unfortunately, we happen to be in a time where the citizens who's supposed to support you under those red, white, and blue colors and the stars, they didn't do that. And now that you have lost your title, it's not time to play recovery. The same fans that didn't support you then, they shouldn't come back and support you now. Just go back to war, prepare heavy, get your training out the way, take your body to depths you ain't been before. Go back in there and get your WBC strap, man, like I know you can. Shake up the heavyweight division, and then go over there and knock out Dillian Whyte, and then go put Anthony Joshua's head on your mantle. That's it. That's it. Undisputed. It's still a huge possibility. But the one thing that's going to help hold Deontay Wilder up is Anthony Joshua. Because I totally believe he can go back in there and defeat Tyson Fury if they don't rob him. If they don't rob Deontay Wilder with a draw, or they don't try to do something to sabotage the fight. Because we've seen Mauricio Sulaiman, WBC, do some crazy shit. Franchon Cruz DeZern, Jimenez, Pop Dirty. It took them forever to get that female, that woman back her belt after she went in there and fought a dirty fighter. The lack of freaking punishment given to Canelo Alvarez. Never really acknowledging Deontay Wilder when he was a WBC champ, when he's the longest reigning WBC champ. But you give Canelo Alvarez a prior cheat, the franchise belt, and people are saying like Mauricio Sulaiman is saying, well, I didn't actually suggest for them to get the belt. They basically requested, they put in a request to have a constellation prize. You know what I'm saying? Something outside of the super title to elevate them above their peers. So we came up with the franchise belt. So Canelo was the first to get the franchise belt. And then all of a sudden, Vasily Lomachenko becomes the second franchise champion and vacate his belt when he should have faced Devin Haney. Vasily Lomachenko had the WBC, WBA, and WBO belt. The only thing he had to do was fight Teofimo Lopez after he fought Richard Comey for the undisputed lightweight titles, and he chose to vacate the belt. And y'all still up here boosting up Lomachenko? Man, come on, man. Come on. Y'all better than that shit, man. Appreciate that, Timothy. But y'all hold it down, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports next time. Appreciate the input, interaction as always, man.